Alright, so I'm also going to take these valve covers off just to make it easier to get this air box off, because sometimes if you don't take these valve covers off, these wings here will snap. You'll snap these right off. Try and get this box off. So it's better to just take a couple extra minutes and take the covers off of them. These just come right off. There's also gaskets on these as well. Make sure you don't damage those or lose them. And then the box should lift right out. Pop it right out like that. Alright, so now the air box is loose. Now I could probably do this without disconnecting the hoses, but I'm just going to do it anyway to give me some more room. But basically, now once that's removed, now we're into this housing here where the crankshaft is, or where the flywheel is and the magnetos. So there's several bolts going all the way around it that we need to get out. I already took out most of them, but I'm going to unbolt everything and then take this housing off right here. Okay, I actually got ahead of myself. We actually need to remove this cover and the fan blade first in order to get this housing off, because the reason we have to do all that is because I'm not disassembling the entire frame of the generator. I'm not disconnecting the electrical and the gas hookup in the back, you know, just to get this off. So that's way more work than I want to do. And if all I have to do is take that fan blade off to get this off, that's what I'm going to do, instead of disassembling the entire frame of the generator and unhooking all the electrical and gas. So I'm going to take this fan off in here. I'm going to get that fan off right there, and then the housing should pop right off. Alright, so I got this grill off. Now I got to go in here, get those 2 half-inch bolts out, and that fan blade will pop right off. Okay, so we're taking this bracket out here, 2 bolts. Now you can see the fan blade is loose, so we can pull that out now. Okay, so you just pry this open here, pull the blade out. So as you can see, the fan blade came right out of that housing there. Now I had to push this open like that. So in here now we got our magnetos, and that's what we're looking for. So there's one magneto, and there's the other one. Let me get this housing out of the way so we can see it better. Okay, so the housing's free. Just gonna pull that right out. Now, this is where our problem is. So there's magnetic debris everywhere. As soon as I pulled that cover off, it just started pouring out. So good news is the studs that hold the magnetos didn't snap off, because if that happened, we'd have to replace the whole engine. So looks like we just need a new flywheel and new magnetos, because if you see here, this magneto is brushing, it's touching this magnet, which is what caused it to shred up. So we're going to replace these magnetos and the flywheel, because they don't sell just a magnet, you got to buy a whole flywheel. So now I'm going to take all this apart. And be careful when you're dealing with these bolts and these studs here that are a part of the engine, because this is just aluminum and they strip out very easily. And also disconnect the 2 leads. There's 2 leads. One here disconnect them too, and take the bolts out. Okay, so for this first magneto, this last screw out. Now I don't know if you can see right there. It's another chunk. See that chunk right here? Another piece of magnet. So, as you can see here, magnetic. Whenever you see that on the bottom of your generator, you know your magnetos are shot. Now let's pull it off and see what damage was done. And it's actually not that bad, but still needs to be replaced, because it was grinding on there, and it actually doesn't look too damaged, but we're still going to give them new ones. This is the main problem right here. This magnet is pretty much gone, so we probably could reuse that magneto, but we're not going to. Okay, so the second one, same thing. Doesn't look that bad, but it is a little scuffed up, so we're not going to reuse that either. So that's your ignition magneto. Now, next step, got to get this flywheel off. This has to go. So all you do is take this bolt off right here. We'll hit this with a hammer a couple times and this will pop right off. And this is the same if you ever have a crankshaft seal leak. So if you're ever leaking oil out of your crankshaft seal, which is behind this wheel here, same exact procedure to change that out. So as soon as we pop this off, you'll see the crankshaft seal as well. So, and this can be a little tough to get off, especially in this tight space, since I didn't take apart the entire frame. And also I put the valve covers, just pop them back on snug so no dirt or nothing gets back in there. Okay, so the way I do this is I throw my monkey wrench on there and I throw a 460 channel locks on the wheel. I step on the channel locks and crank back on the monkey wrench. The channel locks will lock in this wheel because this will spin. So I found that's the best way for me to get it off anyway. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so got it loose. It's really hard to break that thing loose. It does not come off easily, but that little trick works. So take this giant bolt off here in the washer. Now this wheel's still on here, so you got to tap it to get it off, just like a rotor. Alright, just keep tapping it and break it loose. So now this is off. That's your crank shaft wheel, or flywheel. That's your flywheel. There's the magnet. Magneto was rubbing on the magnet and destroyed it, so we got to replace the whole thing. That's that. Now, there's your crankshaft. Right here is your crankshaft seal. If this ever goes bad, oil will leak out of here. So I've had to replace them twice. I had to do that job twice before. So, you know, also when you're getting that flywheel off, you want to make sure you don't damage this rubber seal here, because then you'll have an oil leak, then you got a whole nother issue. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to order a new flywheel with a new magnet on it and get them 2 new magnetos and put it all together, and he'll be back up and running. that's pretty much your right side of the generator. Left side's your rotor and stator. So rotor, stator, that's all it is. And over here is all your electrical.